During the process of transitioning, did you notice any differences in how men and women are treated based on your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot, unfortunately, even today. So definitely, as I always tell people, for some reason, I'm a lot funnier since I've been perceived societally as male. I'm suddenly people look me in the eye a lot more, which is it's a sad reality. Is that just because I am seen as male, people take me a lot more seriously than they did when I was seen as female. And I think that that's something that's not talked about is that there is a lot of uh, just male privilege. And I really jumped into a place of privilege. I pass off in society as a white male. And that in itself gives gives someone a huge amount of privilege in life. So that's something that I've noticed is that opportunities kind of fall in my lap a lot more as well. Um, it's a complete 180, and that's even coming from the place of a white female. I can't speak for other populations, but I can only imagine if I found difficulty as a white female, what other populations might face as well.
Absolutely. Now, and that's such a great point to bring up. I don't think that's something that's often thought about or even talked about, really, that when you transition from female to male, you definitely seen that there was a huge difference in the way you were treated just by very nature of now you're taking on stance of a man. So I think that's so interesting. I really think that's interesting, and it speaks a lot to the way women are treated. Are still treated in this society, right? So I think
Yeah,
that's
and I can't even Lolita. It's insane because like I can walk down the street now at like 2, 3 a.m. And I'm not scared, versus when I presented as female, I wouldn't walk down the street at 2, 3 a.m. because you don't know what could happen. So it's definitely something that needs to be talked about, and it's definitely something that isn't talked about, and it's still very, very present in society today.
And that's so interesting that you also, not even just thinking about others, but also just feeling the difference within yourself, noticing that within yourself, you felt that before when you're presenting as female, you were scared to walk down the street. And then once you transition, you really can see that fear kind of just dissipated. So I really find that so interesting that as soon as you did transition, that you really could feel that difference within yourself and then and adopt that fearlessness that comes with that, that privilege, of course, with being a man and just being able to walk down the street freely without that fear, because of course all the things that women have to face, all the different things that can happen to a woman while walking, or to anybody really, but generally we know that, as a woman walking down the street, it's just a lot, it's going to be a different experience than from a man, so for sure.
And I think it's important for especially young men to acknowledge that too, that there is a certain amount of privilege that we hold within society and a certain amount of power, but you can use that privilege and you can use that power for good, and you can educate yourself.
Amazing. And it starts with doing things like this, like talking about those types of things and those experiences that you felt, right?
Especially being a white male within society gives you a certain amount of privilege. Any type of being a male in society in general gives you a certain type of privilege. Um, I know that I'm taken a lot more seriously, like I said, but it's really prevalent when I go into stores. I get people asking me all the time, "Hey, can I help you? Hey, do you want some help? Like, can I help you pick something out, sir?" Whereas maybe my partner goes into the same store and she gets ignored. So, and I think it's important to speak about just because there's no change in society unless you talk about it, right? And it is very real, and it's still going on. And for some reason, we've stopped talking about male privilege over the years, and I don't know why.
It's a good observation. I mean, we could talk about a million reasons as to why we can speculate why that's happened, but that's for another podcast.
Exactly. That could be a whole other hour by itself.
Exactly.
If you want to hear more stories, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. To support more youth by youth led projects, visit us at youthspeak.ca, where you can donate and spread youth mental health awareness.
Youth Speak Performance Charity. Speak, inspire, change.